the series that we are doing, Spices of Delhi, exactly what and who makes Delhi what Delhi it is.
मेथी की चटनी बनती है 11 मसालों से।
वो आपकी फैमिली रेसिपी ऑफ कोर्स।
आज भी हम अपने मसाले अपने बनाते हैं, इससे भी अपने।
You have coal in here and food is up here. तैयार हो जाओ मटन। Today our journey of spices in Delhi took us to a very interesting place called Rustom Bhonu, run by a Mumbai girl coming from a Parsi family, and just she thought, let's get to Delhi and be a part of Delhi spices. Zoroastrian or Parsi, if I say this is one kind of cuisine, would be a wrong term. It's an amalgamation of the food which came with Zoroastrian to India, and then influence of Indian spices and culture got into this, and then what has been served now, 2019. And this particular family of Rustoms who are serving, that's basically a name of who was serving in the Navy, and she wanted to serve the food which is not ever you get in the restaurant or Irani cafes in Mumbai or other part of the Maharashtra. So she said, let's do a home food, a Parsi home food which she grew up eating. And as I say that in the past series or past videos, that the proud feel about the spices which they grind at home. And exactly same that she shared, that she learned from her mother and a grandmother, an aunt, and then still her mother inspect the place and keep on regularly checking that is that the flavors are right that she learned. And you know, I always said that it is important that there should be a feel of serving, and you can easily see in the Kainaz's face that she enjoys what she's doing. She's very particular about the cooking. The chef that she picked up and trained them, and when you relate things with their home food, it becomes like a very sensitive topic, because you always have a nostalgia about that you grew up eating something, and if somebody's playing with it could get wrong. And as she said that I trained the chef, so what you get right now is a typical Parsi home food. We went into the kitchen and we tried their couple of dishes, and very interestingly, or you can say in the current format of the food we eat right now, we focus on healthy as much as we can. The Patrani Machi was one of my favorite things that we tried there, where there is no oil is used, and then she said that you know, typically we use other fish, but we changed it in Delhi, that we found that this could be a good replacement. And then she agreed that I'm getting almost similar flavors, so I approve and add it in. And she was very open about it, that Parsi food could be anything. Anything means like it doesn't come with a specific criteria, but there are certain things that they got it right is spices. And she was sharing that there a lot of influence came into this food culture. And then this food came to Delhi. So on a surprise note, the food traveled through Iran, came down to the western Ghats of India, and then made its way to Delhi. And now it's been serving from past 4 years. You can say among so far the youngest food institution we have visited. But the passion is something what took us there. And as I say that spices is a center or epic center for our series. So yes, we found that home blended spices at her place too. Thank you, Kainaz, for your time here. I must say that I'm very delighted to come again here. It's one of my favorite joints in Delhi. And you know, we are shooting a series called Spices of Delhi, and we are interacting with the people who makes Delhi what Delhi it is. And the very important part of Delhi spices is that you know, it's not one spice which makes what Delhi it is. So it's a combination of all the different cultures what makes Delhi. And for me, my personal love, Parsi culture, Zoroastrian culture is very unique essence of Indian community right now. And having it in the heart of Delhi, I really thank you to start this initiative. But a lot of people doesn't know how the Rustom happened.
Yes.
So I would like to hear from you how the Rustom happened.
Okay. So Rustom's is a brand that's been in Delhi for about 4.5 years. We're going to complete 5 years this year. And we started off by opening Akchini, which is in South Delhi.
South Delhi, yeah.
South Delhi. And we moved to this location at the Delhi Parsi Anjuman about 1.5 years back. And
What is Delhi Parsi Anjuman? I'm sure a lot of people doesn't even know where it is, and so
the Delhi Parsi Anjuman is basically this is the only fire temple, the Parsi fire temple that exists in northern India right now in Delhi. In
whole
Delhi.
North India.
In Delhi, yeah. In North India and Delhi, this is the only fire temple.
Somebody living in
that's there.
Bihar or somebody living in Assam, he has to come here.
to Delhi, yeah.
For this
this
fire
is the only fire temple.
And
in
no
India.
non-Parsi is allowed in fire.
No, not. That's the rule.
And you're always a born Parsi.
Yes.
You cannot convert yourself into Parsi.
So it houses the only fire temple in North India, and it also has a Parsi Dharamshala where Parsi travelers and now also non-Parsi travelers can come and stay. It's like a motel of sorts. And we run the canteen for the Delhi Parsi Dharamshala. So we supply food to residents also who stay in the Dharamshala at nominal rates, and outsiders are also welcome to come
Is
out.
it a different price menu for
Yeah, they have a separate
course,
fixed breakfast, lunch and dinner.
But like, how did it happen? Like, how you, like a girl from Mumbai, just landed in Delhi food circle and thought to serve her own culture that she grew up in?
Yeah, so it was always my dream to open a restaurant of my own, and I've always been involved in the food industry in some way or the other. Earlier I was with Taj as a management trainee, and I was a restaurant manager.
But
then I was
said, whatever. A restaurant is a different thing.
Yeah.
Having a unique, you can say, special menu which is coming from a niche community and serving and that to deliver. We are we are very particular about spices and flavors. We don't like sweet curries. We don't like something which is only based on one side of the flavors. So how you think that was different for you to be in last 4 years? Of course, you've been serving everyone. So what are the difference that you've seen there in the last 4 years?
in the last 4 the difference that I've seen.
I'm like, let's say that when you came down to Delhi, for example, how that came like,
Okay, so-
I want to serve not only a restaurant, that to a specific Parsi restaurant.
Parsi, yeah. Because I wanted to open a restaurant, obviously, because I'm not a chef, I'm not a trained chef. I wanted to open a restaurant that reflects my culture and my food. And Parsi food is something that I've grown up eating with, and I'm from the community. So I wanted to introduce Delhi people to home cooked Parsi food. That was my main objective and
So you say
main
that-
reason to open in Delhi.
But is there a difference between home cooked Parsi and other commercial menu Parsi?
Yeah, absolutely. Because in Bombay also there's no restaurant that serves home cooked Parsi food. They're all Irani cafes.
Of course.
They're all Irani cafes. So you have a small, like a special Parsi section which has your thansak, sali roti, and all your like the classics. But you don't get to see, they're not a vegetarian offerings on the menu because you have stuff that's mostly appeals to the masses. So you have all your keema pao, you have sali roti, you have mutton thansak. Those are the signatures and the famous dishes.
I
of
remember the
Parsi.
Britannia, Mumbai Britannia, the keema pav was
Yeah, and, but they're also owned by Iranis. They're not Parsis who own those restaurants. So there's a
So let's talk about this. I think this is something very unique as
Yeah.
well for a lot of audience. That Zoroastrian,
Yeah.
that is what we call it Parsi. Then we call it Irani. So how you define both for education? I'm saying just for
So-
people to learn about it.
So Parsis who stayed in, who came from Iran to entered India through Gujarat and have migrated.
But they were Zoroastrian.
Zoroastrians.
Zoroastrian would be a right term, I say, to address it as a community.
Yeah. And when they came to India, that's when the term Parsis evolved, because Zoroastrians who've been living in India and have adopted the Indian culture also as part of their own, those are called Parsis. So which is why we have masalas that use Indian
It was not in
spices
the-
at the base.
it was never dhansak masala.
No. That's what there's like what you have the Zeres pulao in Iran. You don't have a Zeres pulao in the
Pilau.
Parsi
Pilau.
repertoire. Yeah, you have a Parsi pulao, but we don't use berries that much because you don't get those Zeres berries in India. So the Irani berry pulao was something that was introduced by Britannia.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of I didn't have it on my menu for the longest time because Parsis, as part of our home cooked food, we never had Irani
Because
berry pulao
when you
on the menu.
invented it here, it was no berries were available.
Yeah, there were no berries available here. So we also, Parsi cuisine is a amalgamation of different Indian cuisines that have inspired Parsi cuisine.
Doab
as well.
food basically, where two different rivers are matching
Yeah,
together.
exactly. So we have influences from Gujarati food, Maharashtrian food, a bit of Goan influence also, which is where the vinegar comes from.
Vinegar?
Yeah, vinegar is a very
Yeah.
Goan
Exactly.
influence.
We can
in our
say that,
food,
yeah.
So that's, and the whole balance of sweet, sour, and spicy, that is something that's typical to Parsi food.
So you can say it's non-Muslim Irani.
Non-Muslim, yeah,
Non-Muslim Irani would be called as Parsi.
yeah.
That would be right.
But also people who've come from Iran and who've settled
the
down in
business.
India.
Yeah, of course. They are Iranis.
But, and we escaped Muslim persecution, that's why we came here.
Exactly. So Parsis are non-Muslim.
Yeah.
Parsis are specific Zoroastrian community. I just pulled out this between the food conversation because a lot of people doesn't understand who the Parsis are. So coming back to the food chapter here. So how this brave girl from Mumbai thought, okay, I'm going to do now a restaurant, Parsi restaurant, that too in Delhi.
Yes.
How? Why?
So like I said, it was always my dream to open a Parsi restaurant, and I felt that Bombay already had enough representation of Parsi food, and Delhi at that time was lacking any Parsi restaurant. Soda Bottle also I think was only 6 months into it at that time, so it was all, I moved to Delhi because I knew that Delhi was also very open to regional cuisines, because you have a lot of state bhavans here. So you have a lot
Delhi
of state
doesn't look like there is nothing Delhi food.
Yeah.
In fact, in this series we are covering all those communities which makes Delhi what Delhi it is.
Correct.
And now let's come to the food. Since we started a restaurant, now food. So you said that you wanted to serve a home food.
Yes.
So how this home food thing you say authenticated, and now we also understood that Parsi cuisine is more than what Zoroastrian started with. That initially when you Zoroastrian started from Iran and then landed in Delhi, and the food which is influenced by multiple cultural around that community is what the current Parsi food is. I think that's a beautiful, you can say, definition of what we get and eat now. So, but how you say that the Parsi food that you grew up eating? So how you authenticate that? This is what I'm serving is at least been carried forward within a family, or who is, like, you can say, mentor for you to
So
serve
for
this?
me it has always been my mom and my aunt. So my aunt, she's a home caterer herself and based in Nagpur. So she learned a lot of her recipes from my grandmother, my paternal side. Rustom's is named after my father. So
your father was named Rustom?
His name Rustom.
And he was apparently in the Navy as well.
Yeah, in the Navy. So I named the restaurant after him because he loves to eat, and my love for eating and eating out outside also stems from my father. So I wanted to dedicate my first restaurant to my dad. So that's why it was called Rustom's. And all his knowledge about food and all came from his mother, who was a great cook. So my aunt used to make all her masalas from scratch, and she had a small catering business in Nagpur. So before I started Rustom's, I went to Nagpur, which is my hometown, and I spent a couple of months with her and my mother learning all our family recipes, learning how to make masalas, how to make homemade pickles. So that was my education, because I didn't go to culinary school. So
I think no culinary school could teach you even though.
Yeah, so my education has been cooking at home with my aunt and my mother. So they've been the biggest influences for me.
How about, like, do they visit regularly?
Yeah, my mom comes regularly, sees
Like,
and they check. I keep sending masalas.
Are you doing right or not?
I keep sending my masalas to my mom and
Have you
aunt
ever been
also for
scolded about
feedback.
that? You need to improve this.
Yeah, obviously.
You get that.
In the beginning, yeah. In the beginning.
Yeah, because I'm sure this restaurant cannot be sold as like it's a commercial. It's a field of serving that you want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, such institution cannot be said it's for the. Of course, all of us want money. Such feel that you want to serve right. You want to say so. Of course, that's a good connect.
And it goes beyond just business with Rustom's. It's,
So you confess that you make your own masalas.
yes.
That is what we call it, spices of Delhi.
Yes.
So is it like a secret masala that if I have to tell you, I have to kill you?
Dhansak masala. That's one
like
of
a
us. It's a family
Coke recipe.
Yeah. So that's it's all about the right blend of spices. That's what
Was it hard to
ultimates
get people trained here, like about कि ये क्या बनवा रहे हो madam?
Yeah, absolutely. For the first 2 years, I was very involved in the kitchen. I was there 24/7. Every dish passed through me because, like I said, the balance of sweet, sour, and spicy is very difficult to achieve. You have to train your palate
course,
to
of course.
understand.
Yeah.
So it's people have this misconception that Parsi food is sweet, but it's
Yeah.
not only sweet. It's sweet, sour, and spicy. And
You
if
think
don't-
sweet is Gujarati influence?
Yes, correct. Sweet is Gujarati, sour from the vinegar is more Goan because a lot of Parsis who were in Bombay had a lot of Goan home cooks at home. So the addition of vinegar to a lot of dishes was a Goan influence.
Yeah.
So that whole balance of sweet, sour, and spicy with your masalas.
And any recipe, do you use curry leaves?
Yeah, we use curry leaves, but whole, not ground a lot.
But is it like again an amalgamation of Indian food? Or
Yeah, absolutely, because Parsi food is at its very core.
I love that,
also
actually.
a lot of it is Indian food.
For me, it's one of the unique points of the food that how the culture evolves around and then it improvises it. So, what change you have seen? Now, I'm specifically talking about serving Delhi palate. How Delhi reacts to the food.
So initially, so obviously when you're opening a regional specialty restaurant, education plays a big part. So it's very important to educate your customer about the food that they're eating and what dish to have as well, which is where server recommendations come very handy at Rustom's, because everyone knows that dhansak and sali boti are the two most famous Parsi dishes.
Yeah.
But if you don't like sweet and sour, in all probability you will not enjoy the sali boti.
It's really
as
highly
much.
nutritious as well. Like a lot of lentils going in, a lot of veggies
yeah,
going in.
dhansak is it's actually a very well-rounded meal because it has lentils, it has vegetables, it has pumpkin, it has tomato.
Have you modified any recipe for Delhi walas? Because we are very particular about palates.
So that's where I'm coming into my next point, that I've actually not at all changed any of our family recipes. What you get in my house is what you get here. The taste is exactly the same. So I've not changed any of my dishes to appeal to the Delhi palate. What I have done is created a balance of dishes across the menu. So you'll see my menu is fairly large because I've got a couple of dishes that are sweet and sour also. I've got a couple of dishes that are spicy also, some that are vegetarian. So there's a good balance. So that's where if a person who comes and is trying Parsi food for the first time and doesn't like sweet and sour, there are other dishes as well. There's no need to change your existing dishes to match the taste profile of the client.
It's just like completely different.
Yeah, you can easily.
Somebody like एक spicy dhansak है क्यों बना रहा है? Why? Why you need the spicy dhansak? Eat something else.
Exactly. So I prefer to rather, because there are so many dishes in Parsi food that there's a whole spectrum of flavors that are there. That's
Would you say that Delhi adapted Parsi very well? Or
I would say so, because like when we opened initially, we had a lot, like North Indians love chicken and mutton, so that way we were fine. Only problem was the sweetness. So instead of a sali boti, then I would recommend a vindaloo. So the vindaloo is a bit more spicier, has a bit of.
You also have your special masala for vindaloo?
Vindaloo, yeah, and it's different from the Goan vindaloo because we Parsis make vindaloo with either chicken or mutton. We don't use pork that much.
We are not like.
And it's less sour than the Goan
one. Goan is like really high on
so
everything.
it's very pungent and
you can say, yeah.
So ours is a bit milder, but of course it's inspired from the Goan vindaloo.
How you see? Do you see the customers coming again and again? Some story you feel?
We have a lot of, actually, touchwood, we have a lot of repeat clientele who come to Rustom.
I'm one of those, by the way.
Thank you.
So next time,
So I think once you get hooked, then you keep coming.
Yeah, of course,
So,
of course.
So yeah, like initially when we opened, we had a lot of like lost customers who would come in and be like, they look at the menu and they'd be like, "Acha, butter chicken jaisa kya hai aapke menu mein?" And we'd be like, "Okay, kaju margi possibly because it's creamy." Like that's the.
How much a Parsi love is anda? I say it's a big love.
Yeah, we love eggs. So.
Eggs. So you have so much different eggs things.
Yeah.
So how you define like your love for anda?
Yeah. So like.
Is it ever an option or you like you have to love anda?
Yeah, mostly even if you're vegetarian or vegetarian, Parsi still eats eggs.
Exactly.
Nothing else. But yeah, like we have a special section called Paridu dishes, which is essentially you have your bhindi one, bhidam paridu, which is crispy bhindi with an egg on top, and then it's cooked.
Bhindi and anda.
So there's bhindi, there's
Like
tomato.
Delhi guy would like bhindi and anda.
And it's delicious. We have a range. So there's one bhindi, there's one with potato and onion, there's one with tomato.
Potato,
Khata
onion, I
meetha.
can buy. Okay.
Yeah.
But bhindi with onion,
Bhindi is interesting,
bhindi with
yeah.
anda. A North Indian guy would like die thinking about it. Like, kaisa
It's
hoga?
really nice because the bhindi is crispy and then the runny yolk of the egg, provides.
That's a big no for most of the North Indian running yolk.
It's quite delicious.
We've forgotten to cook
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We don't, that we don't like the runny
Yeah,
yolk
it
thing.
has to be hard, but yeah.
Any drink you suggest, always recommend that one must try. Any menu that you want to recommend here that this is something, maybe this is not Delhi palate, but this is something unique to absorb the culture. What do you recommend here?
Yeah, so I would say start with the raspberry soda because that's one of
Do we
our
gonna get one?
signatures. Absolutely. So
Okay.
I'll just get a few. So
Okay.
start with the raspberry soda, and so earlier we used to get our own bottled raspberry soda from Bombay,
Okay.
which was the Palanji's raspberry soda, the
Okay.
one that you get at Parsi wedding.
Yes, yes.
But now we started making our own as well, which uses frozen raspberries and
Okay,
so it's delicious.
It's all
It's our
authentic.
take on it. It's our take on it. But we also have Parsi chai, which has mint and lemongrass. So if you come here in the winters and if you want something warming,
I think I tried
you
that.
can have that as well. So that is there. Then you can start off with keema samosa. We've got chicken frill cutlets.
Chicken samosa. I'll say must try chicken samosa.
Keema, mutton.
Mutton keema samosa. It's one of the best things I have eaten here. I'm not saying other things are bad, but that was a big winner for me. That's very Delhi palate.
Yeah, that is a mutton keema. That's something that's my grandmom's recipe. We used to make that every Sunday at home.
Thank you, Grandma. You did something good.
Mutton keema samosa, then patrani machi, which is steamed in banana
Yeah.
leaves with
But
mint
that's
and
something.
coriander chutney. That is there. Then you can do a dhansak if you want to try that, or you can have a thali. We've also started at this location. We've started thalis because we have a lot of office goers who are nearby. So thali gives you a good glimpse into, you can have a small tasting of everything.
Any struggle you faced in Delhi while replicating the authentic? Because I think Bombay have already have an organized ecosystem about the
Parsi food. Yeah.
So how much you face, like anything stuff coming from Mumbai or somewhere?
Yeah, so we get a saria, which is a sabudana papad. We get that from Bombay. We get our vinegar from Gujarat. It's made in a small town in Navsari. There are only two brothers who still make it, so we
Okay,
get it
like
from
again
there.
a Coke recipe.
Yeah, so we get our masala, our vinegar from there. We make our own masalas. Then
So that's a raspberry soda.
Raspberry soda.
raspberry soda.
Injecting
Oh, it's a mint.
Yeah, just a mint leaf for garnish.
I love this. Eco-friendly.
Yeah, eco-friendly. Yeah. Steel straw. Yeah.
Steel straw is good.
Yeah.
That's good. Really cool.
Thank you. So this we started a couple of like a year back actually.
Wow.
So it's very refreshing and it's got that the sourness and from the raspberry.
Like that. How is it? The acidity, the raspberry.
Yeah, raspberry. gives
Which
a
is
nice
coming in the
kick.
end.
Yeah,
It's very cool.
yeah. So that's it.
So it's all natural.
Oh yeah, this is all
So like homemade
frozen
completely.
natural. Yeah.
And the
Frozen
source
raspberry.
of raspberry source and everything.
Yeah, we have it's frozen raspberries that we get. Yeah. Because it's better. Like earlier we used to serve the raspberry soda that comes from Bombay, but it's a very acquired.
I'm getting a raspberry.
Yeah,
thing.
the seeds.
The
You
crunchy.
get the seeds. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you will. If I ask you, could you allow us to get in the kitchen as well?
Yeah, sure.
Can we see the
Yeah,
kitchen?
yeah, absolutely.
So,
You can see food being made as well.
because I think like every kitchen we shot, but how the Parsi food could be different then. So maybe we'll order something and we'll see that how it's been made.
Done.
Maybe a vada pav and some egg. You think that we should try?
Akuri, you can try the akuri, which is a classic breakfast dish that we have. It's a signature Parsi dish that we have with pav. So it's like a creamy masala scrambled egg, but it has a bit of milk, so it retains its cream.
Would it be okay that if we can shoot while
Yeah,
like?
yeah, absolutely. Would you like to shoot the akuri?
Of course,
Done?
people like to see.
Done?
So what are we making here now?
So this is the dish that I was talking about, akuri. So at Rustom we make our masala mixture pre-made because it's faster. But this is basically onions, tomatoes, ginger, garlic, all your whole spices that have been cooked down and cooked for about at least half an hour until you reach this consistency.
Okay.
So it has, in terms of masalas, it has haldi, it has mirchi, and it has a sambar masala also, which gives it that nice Parsi kick. Yeah. So you fry off the masala a bit again, and then before we add the eggs, we switch off the gas and add a bit of milk. So that is what adds the creamy consistency to the curry. So now I take it off the gas a bit. I add my milk, but the reason why you take it off the gas is if you put your milk in a hot pan, it will start curdling. So you take it off the pan, now you mix in your eggs, properly mix it in until the yolk breaks down, and then you return it back to the flame.
Wow. So a curry masala is like every shop, every institution, every restaurant have their own.
Yeah, no, like this is a pretty standard, like your bhuna masala recipe.
Yeah, exactly, like the restaurant gives.
जो प्याज टमाटर का use, yeah, the masala that. So at home, my mom always keeps a batch of masala in the fridge, so that whenever you want something to eat, you can just use that. It's your base masala essentially.
Okay, okay. So it's like you make it for a week or something?
Yeah, you can make that in advance also. So very soft scrambled eggs. So I prefer to do this at a lower flame. So how you slowly cook your scrambled eggs. Yeah, slowly cook the scrambled eggs with a bit of milk, so it doesn't have to be like burji.
Okay.
It's not a burji, so it's very creamy in texture, but at the same time, it's fully cooked eggs. It's not half done or anything, but the addition of milk or cream, some people add cream also for extra richness, but if you add a bit of milk also, it gives
What
that
would be the
velvety
base taste like? Will it be spicy? Will it be...
It will be a bit of spice. It will be a bit of spice and the nice kick of masala. Green chili is also important in it. So green chili, dhania, your masala and the eggs. And then you eat it with pav, so it's a really nice taste.
So it's not bhurji pav, it's akuri pav.
Akuri pav, yeah. And you can add a bit of coriander. So you serve this with a fresh soft pav. So now we'll do patrani machi. So this chutney is a coconut-based chutney with mint, coriander. It's got green chili, a bit of garlic, jeera powder, imli.
Which fish are we using here?
So here we have a choice of two fishes. The classic one is pomfret. Traditionally, Parsis eat pomfret in their patrani. But here in Rustom we have two options. One is the pomfret and one is the So we've started using tilapia oil, which is a sweet river fish. So the sweet flesh of the tilapia really complements the sweetness.
Tilapia you can get also influence the flavor. Chicken.
Yeah, because
tilapia can take the flavor.
take on the flavor of the chutney.
And how long will it go to steam, chef?
6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Now we do the chicken fillet cutlet.
Chicken fillet cutlet?
Yeah, so frill is because of the greasy texture of the egg on the outside.
Okay.
So you see the lines, threads of egg. So that gives the crunchy coating on the outside of the egg. And then inside. And it's different because everyone does a mint and coriander while we do a spring onion chutney. And we add a bit of tamarind also, so the chutney also carries forward that khata meetha spicy.
The flavor of tamarind, flavor of spices, green chili is out of the world. This was Parsi Spices of Delhi, and what I can say, I'm running out of the short of the words because such an adaptability of Indian flavors with the basics and their own culture. The amalgamation is something cannot be cannot be described in the words. So it's a whole saga that one can enjoy while thinking about the story which came to India and how adapted India with their own culture. So We keep on bringing the new stuff, the new spices from Delhi, and we sign off here.